Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I want to be a cabin crew. Maybe the most exciting part of my job is the fact that I can travel all over the world. I can travel to places that I was just dreaming about or to places that I didn't even know that exist before becoming a cabin crew. I have one more video about a cabin crew roster, how much do we fly in a month, how many days off do we have, etc. If you haven't seen that video, you can find the link in the description. Today I just want to tell you what destinations you can see if you work for Qatar Airways. Qatar Airways flies to over 150 destinations and the airline adds new destinations every month. For example, this year they added so far Pattaya in Thailand, Penang in Malaysia, Canberra in Australia, Thessaloniki and Mykonos in Greece, Hatay, Antalya and Bodrum in Turkey, Cardiff in Wales, London Gatwick in UK and Malaga in Spain. So many new places, right? And they will add the following destinations during this year 2018. Las Vegas and San Francisco in United States, Medan in Indonesia, Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, Santiago in Chile, Libreville in Gabon, Lusaka in Zambia and Douala in Cameroon. But can you see all these destinations? First of all, I told you we have two types of flights, turnarounds and layovers. A turnaround is a short flight, usually shorter than 4 hours and a half, where we go and come back on the same day. We don't even disembark the aircraft. A layover is a longer flight where we stay around 24 hours at the destination. Actually, usually it's between 24 and 28 hours, but we do have places where we stay 2 or 3 days. How many of each do I have in a month? Usually 6 layovers and 2 turnarounds. So we have this map. Of course, we don't have layovers to these places that are closer than 4 hours and a half by air. So we can eliminate them. We cannot go from Doha to Oman, let's say Salalah, only 2 hours and a half flying time and then have a layover there. But still there is a chance to visit these close destinations. It doesn't happen very often to have this type of schedule, but once or twice in a year, yes, it may happen. For example, you go to Rome. You have a layover of 26 hours there. Then next day you come to Doha, flying time around 5 hours. But you don't go home. You have one more flight on the same day to Oman. And now, of course, you will have a layover in Oman. It's not legal to have one more flight because you will exceed the maximum number of hours on duty. Our flights and layovers are not the same every month. They change. Before we bid for flights for the next month, we can check all the flights, we can see all the changes. If the layover in Beijing this month is 27 hours, next month it can be 35 hours. If this month Boeing 777 is going to Paris, next month Boeing 787 can fly to Paris. I will tell you in a moment how this aircraft change can affect you. There are two specific situations I want to talk about. There are some destinations that can be either layovers, either turnarounds. Usually destinations that are 4 or 5 hours away. For example, Moscow. This month Moscow can be a layover, next month it can be a turnaround. Or on the same month, crew going to Moscow on Monday have a layover there, crew going on Thursday have just a turnaround. Similar destinations are Athens, Kathmandu, or some destinations in India. Now I will tell you about the second situation. You can see on the map that Qatar Airways flies to Buenos Aires, Argentina. If I tell you that Buenos Aires is a turnaround, you will ask how is that possible? This destination is so far. Let me explain you how this can happen. You fly from Doha to Sao Paulo, Brazil. You have a layover there, around 24 hours. Next day, you fly from Sao Paulo to Buenos Aires, around 3 hours flying time. Then you come back straight. You don't stay in Buenos Aires. Then you have one more layover in Sao Paulo. Next day, you go back to your base, Doha. Same situation with Casablanca and Marrakesh, the layover being in Casablanca, or Bangkok and Hanoi, the layover being in Bangkok. Now I have to talk about aircraft types. During the initial training, you will be trained for Airbus 319, Airbus 320 and Airbus 321. Also for Boeing 777 and Boeing 787. After a few months, you will get one more training. They will add you some more aircrafts. Now there are two options and you cannot choose. The company will choose what type of training you'll receive according to their needs at that moment. You can be trained for Airbus 330, 340 and 350, or you can be trained for the biggest aircraft, Airbus 380. Which option is better? It depends. If you're trained for 330, 340, 350, the disadvantages are that you are trained for 3 new types of aircrafts instead of only one, so more information to accumulate. Also, you don't get the chance to fly the biggest aircraft, Airbus 380. But 330 Group has the advantage to fly to all destinations where Qatar Airways has layovers, excluding only 1 or 2 destinations. If you're trained for Airbus 380, you have the chance to fly the biggest aircraft in the world. It's an amazing plane, spacious and luxurious. The passengers just love it and the crew love it as well. It makes your work easier. Another advantage is that you are trained for 1 more aircraft, not for 3. The disadvantage is that you miss around 20-25 destinations where only 330 crew can fly. Airbus 380 flies only to 6 destinations. The aircraft is so big that it cannot land on any airport. Currently, it flies to Paris, London, Sydney, Melbourne, Bangkok, and Guangzhou, China. But 330 crew can also fly to the first 5 destinations with Boeing 777 or Boeing 787. So the only destination that is exclusive for 380 crew is Guangzhou. Now I guess you all want to be 330, right? To be able to fly everywhere you want. But I have good news. As I said before, flights change every month. So if this month only 330 crew can go to Miami or Seychelles, next month you can go also with Boeing 777 being a 380 crew. So if you work for 2-3 years, you can see everything. Guys, this is all I had to tell you about our layovers. If you want to give me ideas for my next videos, write your suggestions below. Also, if you have any questions, write them in the comments and I will be happy to answer you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to discover more about cabin crew life. See you next time!